41 Action News starts now.
Dangerous conditions as more snow hits the metro. A semi slid off of 71 highway tonight right after the snow started to fall. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rhiannon Alley. Mike is outside in the storm. Is it still coming down, Mike?
Rhiannon, it is coming down. It's sort of a mix right now. I can hear the pellets of this precipitation bouncing off of my coat. And you can tell if your car has been out for the past 3 or 4 hours, this is what you're going to find. A heavier snow than we saw last weekend. In fact, you can tell the consistency here. Snowball making snow already on the ground. A little more than 2 inches here on the Country Club Plaza. 47th and Oak is where we are as we take a walk here. You can tell some of the new snow piling on top of that old snow that's still on the ground. And to give you a look at Oak Street here as the precipitation continues to come down, making the roadways difficult for these road crews to get out. But of course, we're going to have team coverage on the road conditions, as well as the impact all this winter weather is having on small businesses. But we do begin with Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak back in the studio. And Gary, you nailed another one. What can we expect overnight with this storm?
Well, thank you very much, Mike. It's not over yet. We'll show you radar here in just a second. But look at the KAB Complete Skyview Network. This is out at the Nebraska Furniture Mart. And you can see the roads are completely snow-packed and covered out of the stadium. This is I-70 eastbound. We'll get to our crews outside. And on the plaza, a winter scene revealed, no doubt about it. It's 27 to 28 degrees. Tomorrow we might not get up to 32, maybe 32 or 33 at the warmest, so there won't be much melting. And Weather Track radar shows a large area of snow tracking from southwest to northeast. And there's a new band of heavy snow just southwest of the city. And the heaviest is really up across northern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, and this area may have some significant amounts of more snow up here, maybe 3 or 4 more inches way up to the north. What about the rest of us? I'll have that forecast in a few minutes, but let's go out to meteorologist Gerard Bailey as we continue our team coverage. Gerard, how are the roads compared to last Friday?
I will say there are some significant differences, but this has been a very impressive event just in how quickly everything's been covered. And with that, it's pretty amazing that here we are on I-635 just on the Northland. And everything is covered, not even seeing any really ruts from where vehicles have traveled to even clear this off. I will say it is a much better, at least mixture of precipitation in that I see and feel we're getting a little bit more grip than I think we would normally be getting, just because I think we're not quite getting that compacted ice into the ground where maybe vehicles have traveled over. I have not been seeing as many vehicles really spinning their tires trying to get through, but this is still pretty impressive how quickly all this precipitation, collected and accumulated on all roads, not just, of course, your side roads, your main roads, but big highways like this one here. So I've been watching very carefully on the radar here. We're seeing a mixture of precipitation across Kansas City. It's been going from snow to sleet, even graupel, and now we're getting kind of a mixture up here in the Northland. It's going to be interesting to see how that really combines with the cold air tomorrow morning to see what sort of hazards that are going to make on the road. Back to you, Gary.
All right, meteorologist Gerard Bailey in Storm Tracker. 1 inch per hour, 2 to 3 more inches of snow. That's from Maryville, Savannah down to Leavenworth, and then farther down to the south, there's some new bands, but not as much expected, but still add that to the totals already. We'll go over the details on your forecast. Yes, Rhiannon, there's another storm we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Storm Tracker on 41 Action News is sponsored by Gladstone Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
And because of these conditions, dozens and dozens of schools have already called off class for tomorrow. We're talking about the major districts, Kansas City, KCK as well. For a complete list, you can check the bottom of your screen. Also download the 41 Action News app. With all this winter weather that we've had in the past several weeks, a lot of people are thinking, is this the worst winter we have seen in a while? Well, statistically speaking, it has been the most expensive in Kansas City in the last 5 years. 41 Action News reporter Dia Wall has been following that and crunching the numbers for us tonight. Dia?
You know, Mike, and it's not just Kansas City. We're right off 35 and 87th Street in Overland Park. And I can tell you we've got an easy 2 to 3 inches just here of fresh, fluffy snow. So finally, all the talk of that worst winter ever you mentioned may have some data to back it up. KDOT tells me the worst winter they have on record was the 2013 to 2014 season. They spent $22.6 million treating roads and bridges that winter, and that includes the parts and the equipment and the labor, but it's a far cry from the $15.4 million that was allocated for this year. Well, they tell me with this storm that we've got tonight, they anticipate they will be north of $20 million just this winter. So they think they have a shot to break that record. The good news is no matter how much they spend, crews will be out here working until winter is over, and you can say the same thing for crews right here in Overland Park.
We've had a lot of events for many weeks now. It feels like it's just about every 2 or 3 days we're kind of out there treating or plowing or doing something, and so it's one of those deals where I can tell you morale-wise, our drivers they're feeling the winter.
They're not the only ones. I talked to MoDOT as well. They tell me they're essentially on track when it comes to materials. They attribute a big part of that to surplus of salt from last winter. Kansas City allocated $2.75 million to snow removal this year. Well, they plan to exceed that as well because so many of these winter storms we've had have happened on weekends, which means they're paying more overtime. For now, in Overland Park, I'm Dia Wall. Back to you.
All right, Dia, interesting when you look at the numbers like that. And for this winter weather, it has been a boon for some businesses and a boom for others, some struggling and some really getting some business because of all of this. And 41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield has been taking a look at that dichotomy for us tonight. Ariel.
Mike, this winter, it doesn't really matter what's inside the stores. What matters is what's outside. And with this snow, it either brings a blizzard of business or a flurry of silence. Inside this Brookside toy store, this winter has been a gift.
When there's like a storm coming in and people know that it's about to hit, we've had a lot of people coming in.
They're picking up customers faster than the snow piles up.
That it's like a snow shovel.
Stuck inside and with little to do. Puzzles and board games have become the #1 seller.
And people, I think, have been challenging themselves going for like the 1,500 to 2,000 piece puzzles.
This year, winter has been big for their bottom line. But the snow is eating into the sales of the store next door.
It's words that we hear a lot from people. I am so over it.
Here, winter is officially out. Gloves and hats on sale.
So we're kind of bringing in the spring clothes. We're bringing in things that look like spring.
The freezing cold temperatures and lack of warm-ups have made business slow and unpredictable.
I mean, we've got the white skirts to go with this.
At least they have these spring looks to offer, while trying to shake this winter's wicked grip on their bottom line.
I've done this for 35 years, so you know I've been through a lot of different things, but this winter, yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge.
This isn't just limited here to Brookside. I checked with other locally owned businesses in the Crossroads, Leawood, and Prairie Village. They told me they also are hurting from all of the snow. Reporting live from Kansas City tonight, Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.
Spring seems so far away. Ariel, thank you. When you think about this winter weather, you also think about the first responders, accidents, and even firefighters when they go out to these scenes. They have to deal with all the snow and also do their jobs. But for one local business, they've actually made it a point to help first responders respond to you. 41 Action News reporter Kat Reed followed them.
When the snow comes down, some drivers are ready to roll.
We're very good at what we do. We really love going out in the snow, and we're prepared for it.
Tony Kiley is a founding member of the Midwest Crawlers, the Metro's biggest Jeep and off-roading club.
We hang out. We're best friends together.
Together, they also like to help people.
Those are all of the volunteers, over 100 volunteers, staged and waiting.
Ready to taxi first responders for free.
The handle up there?
Delivering nurse Michaela White and others to the jobs we can't afford for them to miss.
My car is not the best in the snow.
These Jeeps are set up with bigger wheels, higher lift kits, all of these emergency lights, plus equipment that can help pull people out of the snow.
These are called D-rings, and this allows us to hook up our tow strap to whomever and have a nice solid connection.
The Midwest Crawlers help because they can and because we rely on first responders.
The weather gets really, really bad. We need those people to be to work all the time, every time.
For someone used to taking care of others, having the favor returned is appreciated.
It's nice. I really appreciate it. I think we need more people like this.
In Kansas City,
This is awesome.
Kat Reed, 41 Action News.
What a cool group. The Midwest Crawlers have a special number that I'll read right here for first responders. They can call or text if the weather gets bad, 816-376-0919. We've also got a link to their Facebook group on our website. But, you know, when you head out tomorrow to shovel some of this new snow, not only is it wetter consistency, but you're also dealing with snow from the previous storms as well. Welcome to winter in the Metro this year. 41 Action News continues right after this.
And a live look outside as Kansas City gets hit with another snowstorm. This is KCK right now. You can see there are some cars out on the roadways and the roads are covered. We are expected to get several inches as this continues overnight. We are going to check back in with Gary Lezak in just a moment so he can tell us exactly what we'll expect from now until your morning commute.
From a traffic stop to getting a new car seat, the Kansas City Police Department is doing more than simply enforcing the law.
In tonight's Safe KC report, 41 Action News anchor Taylor Hemnes reveals the work of social services within the department.
Parents, I know you're with me on this. Car seats are one of the worst parts of parenting. They're heavy, they're hard to move around, and moving them from car to car is just the worst. These buckles are a nuisance. It's hard to find the clasp to put them where they need to go, and if you're in a hurry, forget about it. It's easy to forget how important car seats are until you need one and don't have one.
That scenario showed up on the desk of Tori Common, a social worker stationed at KCPD's Central Patrol. A pair of officers had made a traffic stop for a woman who was speeding.
When they pulled the mother over, they found that her daughter was not restrained properly.
The woman was very upset, and police learned that her car seat had recently been destroyed in a house fire. Tori made some calls and was able to find a replacement.
And when I told the officers that I found a car seat and that I coordinated with this mom, immediately their response was, we want to go take it to her.
What's that reaction like whenever you show up at the door with a car seat and a smile on your face?
She lit up, yeah, she lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And that really, I don't know, that made me feel good about the whole situation.
The officer involved didn't want to be identified, but we rode with him around the neighborhood, and he described how the job has changed with a social worker in the building.
It's been phenomenal. We put it on their, their doorstep. They're able to, give us references and resources and things of that nature, that before we didn't have.
Tori says everything she and the social workers working with the department do starts with an officer who sees a need. And that leads to some wild phone calls, emails, and Post-it notes.
We meet every other week and kind of have a staffing, and we will have this moment where we just kind of all lay our cards on the table. Like, okay, here are the ridiculous things I've seen this week that were really tough, and here were the amazing ones. One of our social services down in Metro helped a gentleman get a dog because his had died.
Social service programs giving people furniture, they've given people their time. You name it, whatever you need in life, they've pretty much been there to step up.
Tori's job gets questions.
Is it dangerous? Are you nervous? I didn't know that type of job existed. What does that look like?
But it has provided answers for her.
I had no idea that so many officers every day, they were already doing this, but without the resources, without the knowledge that I have. It has become the type of job where I can't imagine doing anything but this.
Taylor Hemnes, 41 Action News.
The social services program started with Chief Rick Smith when he was a major and commander of Central Patrol. The program expanded with the help of a grant from the Hall Foundation and funds from the city.
Now, here's Kansas City's most accurate forecast from Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak.
Good evening, everyone. I am right in the way of Storm Tracker. You can see right here, this is meteorologist Gerard Bailey showing us the roads. We have sleet coming down, so the visibility is a little bit higher. There's going to be some more snow and sleet for the next 2 to 4 hours, and then it'll taper off to either freezing drizzle or a light snow. And good, Storm Tracker stops at the red light and goes to the green light. right, so there you go. So they're crossing Kansas City, Kansas into Kansas City, Missouri right now. Let's take a look at our KAB complete Skyview network. You can see right now they're clearing the parking lot. They already tried to do so, and now it's snowed and sleeted enough to cover it back up again. Yes, you'll be able to get around tomorrow morning when you get up to go to work. If you do have to go, lots of extra time. I mean, plan on 30 minutes to an extra hour, as the roads are not going to improve that dramatically. As you can see right now, I-435 and 639 and 69 highway covered, and there's I-70 completely snow-packed. So very slick and hazardous conditions. 27 degrees right now, an easterly breeze at 6 miles per hour. This is the big picture. Look at all this snow and sleet and a mess around the area. The heaviest is in the white area, so Maryville, north of Savannah, up across Bethany, some heavier snow up there, and it's coming down at the rate of 1 inch per hour in these white areas. So 2 or 3 more hours of that would be 2 or 3 more inches of snow on top of what you've had. Farther south, Lawrence to Overland Park, they're more spotty on the heavier activity, so a ½ inch to 1 inch additional sleet and snow on top of what we have, and then sleet up to 1 inch down to the southeast, maybe 1 inch of snow mixed in. You can see the band is moving to the south, from southwest to northeast, and these areas back near Lawrence right now have the bigger snowflakes, so some heavier snow there. But then there's the back edge. As soon as that goes by about midnight to 1 in the morning, it'll taper off to lighter activity. So totals 4 to 7 inches up north, 3 to 6 inches from around Leavenworth back to the west, 2 to 5 inches from the city down to the southwest, and a little bit less, 1 to 3 inches down to the south and east. So what can you say? A widespread event right here in Kansas City causing problems. Is there anything else heading this way? Well, let me show you this. Tomorrow, maybe some sunshine late in the day as our storm leaves. All right? Thursday, look what comes into the western part of the country. A really strong system. Friday, there it is. We go into southerly winds. It'll warm up into the 40s. Some rain may develop by Friday night. And then this is Saturday. I just looked at all the data, and this is rain. It may be in the 50s. And then this comes our way. This is a blizzard. We have to watch very closely. 50-mile-per-hour winds, a few inches of snow, and if it moves due east, we would be in it. Now, a little farther north, we won't get that, but that's Saturday, and then after Saturday, there's more. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just full of good news, aren't I? Total accumulation, 7 inches north to 2 inches south, some light snow mixture, 30 degrees at 5, 9 in the morning, through the morning rush hour, freezing drizzle, light snow will be coming to an end, very slick and hazardous. By 4 o'clock, maybe a little bit of sun coming out. Some melting begins, improving roads still quite slick. In our 7-day forecast, Thursday near 40, Friday 44, Saturday, as we've talked about, 52 sounds awfully good, but by the end of the day, it might not be so good.
It might not be so
It's a
good.
few days away.
We'll worry about the storm we're in right now.
What a path.
Mick was just whining about the weather.
Yeah, complaining nonstop.
Complaining.
My gosh. My sports cut, all that stuff.
That's the real reason.
Gotta get to it here. Anyway, guys, K-State and KU trying to shed a Big 12 title contender tonight. Plus, we hit spring training and catch up with the Royals' newest speedster. It was exhausting catching up to him, but we could do it. It is feast or famine in the SEC. Good evening. Good evening. 2 Tuesdays ago, it was #1 Tennessee playing Mizzou. Famine. Last Tuesday, Arkansas with the losing conference record. Feast. This Tuesday, #4 Kentucky. Potential famine at Mizzou Arena tonight. Antlers, they're doing their part. Mizzou trying to stick around. Reed Nico inside. Dunk steps. Mizzou not sticking around, though, down 11. Mostly because P.J. Washington had 18 points outside and then kind of outside. Off the bench, it's going to be Emmanuel Quickly to Nick Richards. Ow. This never really got close. Coolest thing was Derek Chivas' #3, finally going up in the rafters, 66-58, Kentucky winners. Iowa State trying to draw into a tie for second with KU and Texas Tech tonight in the Big 12, and they couldn't do it. Baylor goes in and upsets the Cyclones in Ames, so it's the Bears and Cyclones tied for 4th. Red Raiders and Jayhawks play Saturday in a tie for 2nd. Wildcats all alone in 1st. At over 98,000 square feet, Kauffman Stadium's outfield is estimated as the biggest in baseball. At over 30 feet per second, Billy Hamilton is estimated as the fastest player in baseball. Problem meets solution. Here's D. Jackson.
Playing center field at Kauffman Stadium comes with its fair share of responsibilities. And while there's plenty of depth in the outfield, the recently acquired Billy Hamilton can't wait to patrol the grounds at the K.
We got a bunch of guys in the outfield that can go get the ball, and like I said, we're gonna have our pitchers back, and that's one thing that I'm gonna tell them myself. Like, listen, I mean, they hit out in the center field, I got you. Whatever you're gonna do, I got you back.
Hamilton's using spring training to get to know his new neighbor in left field, Alex Gordon, who's hoping the two can maintain some of the defensive magic the club has become known for.
Hopefully we can develop a chemistry like me and Locaine had, and you know, I know the balls that I need to get, and he knows the balls that he needs to get.
That's what spring training's for, is getting comfortable with the communication, getting comfortable with what each other can do, and then it's, you know, it's just like a sixth sense. Gordy didn't have to, or Billy, they don't have to see him to know where he is.
Hamilton signs a one-year deal worth $5.5 million after hitting .236 with 34 stolen bases last year at Cincinnati, but it's his speed that fits that persona of these Kansas City Royals. In Surprise, D. Jackson, 41 Action News.
All right, D, thanks very much. According to a report by NFL Network, the Chiefs are expected to franchise tag D. Ford soon. Unlike most NFLers, Ford has said he wouldn't mind a franchise tag, which would mean about $16 million for him next season. And then Chiefs defensive staff is finalized. Andy Reid's son Britt moves from the D-line to linebackers, and no Al Harris, curiously, in the mix for 2019. Those are your sports. We're back after this. Sorry.
Here's a time lapse as it just got started. Watch I-70 get coated as the snow came down heavier and heavier and heavier.
Oh, wow.
And there it is, a time lapse of, wow, I hadn't seen that one yet.
Wow. So is it going to be bad for the morning commute?
It's going to be bad. It's going to be slick and hazardous. You're going to be able to get around. You just have to provide in your mind an extra half hour. Do not be in a hurry.
Okay. Oof.
And then, yes, there's another storm, 100% chance Saturday. How about that? That far out.
Wow. Do not be in a hurry, and also most of the kids are out of school. We have them scrolling at the bottom. We have you covered tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m. See you then.
Good night.